Hello everyone, this is Dean Hill, your independent candidate for U.S. Senate, Tennessee. I am coming on here today to again explain to everyone why we need to quit voting Democrat and Republican, which right now most of you should know that. You aren't putting all the dots together, but I'm going to help you a little. The coronavirus lockdown and social distancing is nothing more than an economical and psychological warfare. Getting people scared so they'll do what you want in the future. People are even telling on each other now, just like Nazi Germany, snitching on each other for going out and playing baseball or something. Okay, remember, we have the right to assemble. We have the right to do whatever we want. Also, we found out these numbers are wrong. I have no problem with taking money from the WHO because they were absolutely wrong. If they were a doctor, you would fire them on the spot. Just about everything they said was wrong. And so many people, this isn't a game. This is people's livelihoods. This is America. This is also our liberty. They're breaking into the Constitution with this. It's being used to create an authoritarian state, okay? Free from the hindrances of the Constitution. They can control voting, vaccine mandates, microchips, and every aspect of your life. Now, I do see the president starting to push back against all this, and A.G. Barr and a couple of people up there are starting to see what it was set up for, because it turned out the curve was absolutely wrong. It was over 140,000 people death wrong. It came out to be about like the flu, 60,000. Plus, on top of that, we have found out that there are certain medicines that just work on it. Just like if you got sick and you went to the doctor and you took some medicine. People aren't even looking at it like that. Amoxicillin. You go to the doctor for an infection, you take amoxicillin. You go to the doctor, oh, it should be so simple later. Oh, you have coronavirus. Here's some hydroxychloroquine. And here's some vitamin C and some zinc, whatever the mix is. Then you go to the pharmacy and you get the answer and you feel better. Couple of things I want to say, and I am going to read because it is hard to keep up with all of these stuff that they do that is just wrong and illegal. If you believe in the Republican and Democrat parties, I want to ask you why the following issues exist or not have been fixed by new legislation. Pedophilia and child trafficking. The President Trump has been very vocal on this, but the media never ask a question. Have you ever heard him ask a question during his briefings about it? No, you haven't. You know, furthermore, the stories are being buried by the media. Now we have proof that they had stories years ago about Epstein and everyone, and they buried them. You haven't asked about that? You haven't asked? You think the Republicans haven't heard about that? You think Democrats did, because a lot of them are Democrat, that are part of the issue with Epstein. It's obvious. They never ask a question at a briefing, or stories are buried by legislation. When they never bring up the crisis. Isn't raping, killing children still one of the most heinous acts? And no one seems to care up there. Sorry I had to write that down, but they say that's disingenuous, but these are my thoughts, okay? So I don't want to play these political games. Look, he can't remember everything. No, I can't remember everything because there's so much. Let's go to term limits now. Term limits. Neither party will set term limits for fear of losing party power. It is not about the nation, and you'll even hear them sometimes. I heard the leader of the DNC speaking and say that Democrat Party before the nation. Okay, and that's scary to hear in a republic. Then we have expensive running true campaigns. It's a problem I always have because I don't want to take money from people. I don't want for them to throw millions of dollars. I don't want to pay somebody to run my campaign that'll steal money and get us both in trouble, or two Russian operatives give me money and then I'm a Russian operative on top of that. I just don't want to play those games. But even they cannot afford the numbers. They can't afford them out. They got to find ways to get all that money. Look at the millions they spend running. It's crazy. A normal person can, normal average Joe can barely run, which is who is supposed to be running the company. Neither party will pass legislation that if an organization receives government funds, they are not allowed to donate to parties. Now, who are we talking about right there? And plus, this is completely illegal. Let's say examples. Planned Parenthood, hundreds of millions of dollars, and guess who they give money right back to when it's time to run for office? Now, this burns me, okay? We also have the Kennedy Foundation just now when we're supposed to be doing a stimulus for Americans stuck at home that lost their jobs, that have children. or grandparents or even themselves. Just because somebody's a single adult doesn't make them less valuable. Society talks about that a lot in that way. They need to eat. Okay? So they took all that money and gave to Kennedy Foundation. Now guess what? Kennedy Foundation has laid a lot of people off, probably fired a lot of people, and they have given money back to the Democratic Party. Okay? Completely illegal. No question, I'm just not even discussing that anymore. It's illegal. But there are no laws against it. So if you're receiving any money from the government to help your organization exist, I do not believe that you should legally be able to give money back to either party. You could try to call out the stakeholders and say, well, we have stakeholders who want to do this. Oh, we want to do good for our country. Those are all invalid once you take money. When you take money, you're saying you can't afford to exist without it. That's the same way I feel about other nations. Any nation we're giving money to that says death to America or does not back America up when necessary, why would we give them money? The government is not a charity. The same people that are anti-Christian become very Christian in their loving and caring, saying, well, we have to give, we have to help them. You're getting kickbacks too. We've already found out that most of your kids are working there, your family members, making money. They end up in embassies, or they end up on boards, or you end up getting money funneled back through your foundations where they're giving you money to run again on your next campaign. That's selling out America. I'm not even going to get on the stocks that were sold off. That's obviously insider trading when you go to a committee meeting and then you come out and you sell all the stocks you have because you know that the economy's about to bust. That's definitely illegal. They've made laws where they protect themselves from that too in the Senate and the House. And again, how did these laws go through if Democrats and Republicans didn't allow them to? Now remember, the Republicans hold the Senate. Democrats may hold the House. They can ask for anything, try to do anything they want, but they have to go through the Senate, and then they have to get it verified by the president. Okay, so let's just don't forget how it works when people play games with us and lie to us. It's time to wake up, and I think a lot of people have. We're no longer sheep. We see what's going on. How do you fix it? How you fix it? Get the parties out. Get the parties out. The parties are giant organizations that don't have the best interest in the people, and all they care about is keeping power. So then you got to start asking, well, who's in the backgrounds of the parties? Because if you all don't know that when senators and congressmen go up to Washington or their state, they're being told what to do by people that work for the parties. Most of their votes are dependent on what they're told that day. So if you really think that they're always going up there making their own decisions, no, they're making party decisions. And the party's not always in line with what you think it is. As I always say, I can ask 10 different people what a Republican is. They'll give me different answers. Same thing for Democrat. So I'm just here again reminding you all to keep looking into stuff. Do your own investigations. Ask yourselves these questions. Why does nobody care about the children, it seems like? Why does nobody care about term limits? Why do they not care about how people can give, how it can be voted in to give money to a large organization, then the organization turns around and the main party that voted and pushed it gets money back from them for their campaigns? These are big questions, people. You need to start asking